let's start to my immediate left here. This is Jimmy. Jimmy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are representing tonight?
Yeah, my name's Jim Murphy. I represent the Community House on Broadway. I've worked there a little over 2 years. I'm the operations manager. I work right underneath the executive director, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what we do and how you can get involved.
Okay. So tell us about the Community House. What is the Community House about?
Community House is a homeless shelter for individuals that have committed to a clean and sober life, that are following an action plan of housing, trying to get back into stable housing, trying to get back to a self-sufficient life. They've made a commitment of change, and they could stay there up to, there's like 90, at least 90 days or longer, depending on how long they need the support. So that's what we are. We're a homeless shelter.
So you mentioned a few times that they were committed to change. Why is that so important to the Community House?
Well, the philosophy of the Community House for the past 26 years has always been a hand up, not a handout. So we take donations from the community, and thanks Valley Christian Fellowship for all your donations and support. And one of our primary goals is to, we don't want to enable people to just live there and not make improvements in their lives. We want to see people succeed. We want to see them in housing and contributing back to the community that's investing in them. So we hold people accountable for their actions, and hopefully, make some positive changes in their life while they're there.
That's an amazing philosophy, because I know that there are times in which we, as Christians, we want to invest. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but we also need to be stewards of God's resources, right? Because eventually we have to answer for the things that we do. And I think that's really awesome that the Community House takes the time to consider, I guess, the stewardship of the resources. Because are you guys solely supported by the community?
Yeah, we get most of our funds local through churches, individuals, and businesses. Yeah, a little bit of local grant money from the county and city, and some FEMA money that comes in from the federal government, but I would say 90% of it's local.
Excellent. Okay. So this is Larry Russell from Love Inc. Larry, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and Love Inc.?
I'm the executive director for Love Inc. Love Inc. stands for Love in the Name of Christ, and we have an affiliate here in Cowlitz County. There's over 150 affiliates around the country, but we have one here locally that started as a result of those Servant Week things we were doing from 2006 to 10. It morphed into full-time, and as a group of congregations, Love Inc., you can only have a Love Inc. affiliate if you have congregations that band together, pool their resources, namely the talents of their people, to volunteer to meet needs in the community. So we were doing that through Servant Weeks. Maybe some of you were part of those Servant Week things, from 2006 to 10. And then in 2010, it was obvious we were getting calls not just for a week of service, but we were getting calls year-round. And so we were taking our volunteers from that Servant Week, we were plugging them in. We started to say, hey, we need to do something here, because God is leading us from 1 week to 52 weeks.
Wow.
And so we need to mobilize. And we made a decision to become a Love Inc. affiliate because they're doing nationally what was already happening here in the community. And we started out with 6 congregations. There's 16 congregations now that are part of Love Inc. You can only have a Love Inc. affiliate if the church comes together. If they don't come together, you don't have an affiliate. So that's how it works. Love Inc. is the church who's agreed to come together and pool our resources to meet needs in the community. We aim for the people that are falling through the cracks. We don't try to duplicate another feeding ministry or another clothing ministry or another shelter. What we try to do is find out who's falling through the cracks and how can we help meet them. So our goal is the families moving out of, we help Community House a lot when families move out. Am I getting too far ahead of myself
No, you're
here?
good. You're
I used to be a pastor for 31 years. You can't ask me a question. Expect me to finish in 2 minutes.
Okay.
couldn't even
Oh,
get out
I'll
of my
let you know, so
introduction
yeah.
in 30
Okay.
minutes. So anyway, the target group that we have are single parents, vets, seniors. We especially work with the people who are moving out of the shelters into permanent housing, because when they move out, they have nothing.
Wow.
So they don't have furniture, they don't have household goods, and sometimes they don't have any help moving their stuff from storage, if they have stuff, into a place. So we'll do all that. We collect that stuff, but we do a lot of other things, but that's our target group.
All right. So, correct me if I'm wrong. You said so. You cannot be a Love Inc. affiliate unless you have all the churches coming together, or multiple churches coming together.
You have to have multiple churches come together. To be an affiliate, you have to start out with 6.
Uh-huh.
Well, during those servant week things that we were doing, we had upwards of 22 congregations that would bring their people together. And so far we've been able to draw in 16 of those 22. We have 3 or 4 on board ready to come in to be a part of it. So basically what they do is they sign up and say, we want to be a part of this affiliate. We will help you mobilize our volunteers to be available to plug in. And some of the congregations say, we want to go further than that. There's a ministry that we see that we want to do, and if they find one that's not being done in the community, we throw all the support toward that.
Interesting, because like you said, you look for the ministries that are falling through the cracks, right?
Yes.
So we're not. So it's not like another like Fish does food ministry,
Right.
Right, and they're like you help with the homeless. So you're definitely looking for a unique opportunity, something that people, there are times where we see all the time that people, they need food or they need help with their PUD bill and things like that. But vets or people who need help moving out, you're the people they call.
Yes.
Right, so that is amazing. And I think what's amazing for us as Valley is that we as a church have always been about the kingdom work. We're not about Valley, we're about what God is doing in the kingdom. Our mission and vision has been to reach 10,000 people by the year 2020. And so the cool thing about this is that we're about networking with other churches. So Love Inc. seems to be a great opportunity for us as a church to work with other churches in the name of Christ, right?
Yeah, that's the upside of it, because we give 2 things to people. We give hope, because if they don't have any resources and suddenly the resources are there and the need is met, like if they need a wheelchair ramp built and they don't have anybody to do it and they don't have the money to do it, we'll find it some way. We'll build them a quality ramp, and now they can get out of their house.
And that is unique because I've never thought about a ministry like that where I would build a wheelchair ramp for someone.
No, we just
who
have a
is,
bunch
yeah.
of crazy carpenters that love to do that. So
That's good.
they never asked me to show up, because
Okay.
I do know which end of a hammer to swing, but that's
I
about
get
it.
that. Yeah.
So-
I'm just like you. I'm a computer guy. I don't. Anyway. So
So,
So-
another example, we have quite a sizable senior population in the city, and some of them are in their own homes. They can't do their yard work anymore. We got people who will go out and mow their lawns for them. It takes a huge load off of them. Some of them have leaky roofs. We'll either fix the leak or tear off the whole roof and replace it.
I know who to call for the bean. We have a leaky roof.
I
all the
hate
time,
flat
so-
roofs. We like the kind that slope.
Okay.
So,
So it's safer though. It's flat. You won't fall if. Anyway.
okay.
All right. So with that, I'll go, then this question for you then, Larry. How have you seen God at work then in the ministries, in this ministry particularly? Like what is?
Yeah, 2 ways.
Okay.
The first one is obviously people who don't have hope get hope. There's a shot of hope immediately. And they're really grateful, and we get to talk to them about the Lord and all of that stuff. We get to pray for them. So we're kind of plowing ground and sowing seeds
Okay.
and watering the seeds.
Do any stories come to mind of someone who?
Yeah, just this last week, we had one day it didn't rain, in case you didn't notice. There was a guy who's going through chemotherapy. He couldn't do his yard, and he called us and said, could somebody come and mow my yard? And so we went out there. He wasn't home. We sicked our guy on the yard. He got it done. The guy came home, didn't even notice his yard was done at first. Then all of a sudden it dawned on him, my grass looks nice. He called me up. He was weeping. He said, nobody has ever done anything like that for me before. So that's one example. We moved somebody out of community house this last week. We moved somebody out of the emergency support shelter this last week, providing furniture and household goods for them. We did that. We did one ramp this last week
Wow.
for someone. We did 6 ramps last year. We've done 26 this year, and we've got 12 slated to try to get done before the end of the year. It's just crazy how it's going.
So you said there were 2 ways, so that's the first way.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
the second way?
The second way is my favorite way. The second way is that when we work together, we give revelation to people about who Jesus is.
Wow.
And you got to just go with me here on this. In John 17, Jesus is praying. It's his prayer that he prayed that Passover night before he went to the cross. In that prayer, he shifts from praying to the believers that are with him in that room to future believers. And he says, Father, my prayer is not for them only. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that they may be one as we are one, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. And then he goes on. He says, I have given them the glory that you gave me, so that they may be one, so that the world may know that you have loved them and have sent me. So our unity, when we walk together in unity, we give a revelation. You don't have to believe me. Just look at the prayer.
So when you say unity, are you referring to the churches coming together?
Yes, because in a lot of our projects, we have 4, 5, 6, 7 congregations that'll have guys or gals there doing that, like this one hoarder lady that we kept from being evicted. We had 8 congregations there. The question always comes up, what church are you from? I love it when they ask that question. They ask it all the time. And they say, well, we're from 8 churches or 7 churches, whatever is present. And they go, you're kidding. You're from 7 churches? I know what's going on inside them. It's what Jesus said would happen. They get a revelation of who he is. And that's what I contend for, because that's the heart and soul of Love Inc. It's when we work together. So when we work together as in multiple congregations, there's even greater benefit than giving hope. We give revelation. And
Hope and revelation of the
yeah,
body. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what about you? What are some ways that you have seen God work through the community house?
Well, we support homeless that basically come in with just the shirt on their backs many times. We've seen folks fleeing domestic violence. We see a lot of mentally ill individuals. We see a lot of families. Last night at the community house, we hit an all-time record number of children.
Wow.
We had 56 kids stay in our shelter with only 55 adults.
So these are 56 homeless children?
50, yeah.
Wow.
56 homeless children. Probably 90% of them are from this county. They attend our schools. They're born and raised in this area. And we see a lot. We've seen a huge increase in our family population over the last couple years, and that could be due to a host of things, externally, the pressures of the economy, and just not a lot of benefits out there for families. So they come to us seeking help, and one of the ways we see the hand of God working is that we're able to take them in off the streets or from them living in their cars, and give them a warm meal at night, and in the morning get them connected with their schools, get them, the parents job searching and getting educated or getting back on their feet, giving them a place to stay where they could save up some of their money, so in the 3 months or 4 months when their time's up and it's time to move on, they could find an apartment or get back on their feet. And having Love Inc. come in and help with the moving and the furniture has been a huge blessing. So we see God at work at Community House every day. It's really a place where miracles happen. Another area, too, that's been a tremendous blessing is that we had a building donated to us that is located on 14th Avenue down by the YMCA, and we're using that building for administrative work, and we just got our mental health license from the Department of Behavioral Health this month. So this building is ADA ready. It's HIPAA compliant. So there's confidentiality. It's the old internal medicine building, and 5 doctors and their spouses last year got together and agreed to donate that to us. It's like $1 million building. It was just appraised for $960,000. And God his timing is never off. And the reason why I say that is because as the number of people increased at the community house over the last couple of years, we've had to convert storage rooms into living quarters, which has pushed our case managers into one office. The office that I used to work out of at the community house now is used for things like supplies and hygiene items and stuff that you need to live on for 100 people that are staying at your place. And so we're now working out of the new building that we got donated to us, and we're actually looking to get a contract with Southwest Behavioral Health to start mental health services for the
And that's why you guys got that
population that we
license?
serve.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So mental health is a major issue with the homeless in this area. So we're looking forward to offering that as an addition to what we do, to the housing and to the meals and the clothing, and kind of go beyond the basics of what we offer and get to some of those core issues that folks deal with.
I've never thought about mental health issues as being something that homeless shelters offer. I mean, it makes sense to me now. Is that something unique to the community house? Because when I think of community, like homeless shelters, I think of shelter and food and clothing. Is this?
Yeah, it's really unique.
Wow,
I know
okay.
some of the leaders in Southwest Behavioral Health said that they've never funded a shelter per se in this area or in the 3 counties that they fund. So it's kind of a new thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So I think for all of us in this room, we're hearing just these amazing stories of how God is just using these ministries. So really, the question that makes sense to ask now would be what are the needs, or how as a church can we support your ministries? And when we decide to do so, how can we contact you? You guys have a website or email and all that stuff? Jimmy, what?
Sure. There is always a lot to do at Community House, and if it wasn't for volunteers, there would not be a Community House. We have 30 different congregations that come in throughout the month and serve meals at night. We have a lot of help in the God's Closet and our clothing distribution. So there's a lot of different areas to get involved. We do have an after-school program for kids. We do, like I said, 56 kids last night. Probably half of those are under 5, but those kids that are 6 to 12 years old, we have an after-school program at Father's House Church. If you have a heart for kids, you could get involved with that. If you'd like to come in and help in the kitchen, maybe organize our pantry or put away donations, help in God's Closet, distributing clothing to the homeless. If you're good with maintenance, right now we're in the midst of tearing up some of the carpet in the community house that has been there for the past 20 years. And we're putting brand new vinyl flooring in, and man, we just can't get enough help, because we have 44 rooms in the building. So our maintenance guy is just, we're dying for help. So if you got a hand in carpentry, if you like to paint, you could imagine the wear and tear of 100 people in a building over the course of even a few months. There's always painting that needs to be done. If you're into mentorship, you could talk to us at Community House, and we can get you connected with someone that maybe just needs you to take them out to coffee and get to know them, give them some normalcy in their lives again. So we have a ton of areas. If you want to get involved, we'll find a spot for you. We have a volunteer coordinator that will meet with you, run your background check, and get you plugged in. So the best way to do that is just to come into the community house right on Broadway, pick up a volunteer application, fill it out, bring it back, and we'll process it. We'll give you a call back, and sit you down for an interview and see what your likes are, and try to find a schedule that works for you.
Okay, that's great. All right, so Larry, what about Love Inc.? What are some needs that are current, I guess, right now? And what are some ways that we as a church or individuals could come alongside and help you? And where do we go when we want to volunteer? Who do we contact?
I just happen to have brought sign-up sheets here for. No.
He was prepared. That was good.
So there's 2 ways. You can sign up as an individual according to what your gifts and abilities and likes and availability are, which is great. We get we get 5 to 10 calls a day for help. That's help that's legitimate that we can do. And so there's an opportunity to serve people every day. Dozens of them. Or you can go to where I think is the prize, and you can sign up as a congregation, say we're going to be a part of the covenant of congregations that form this Love Inc. affiliate, and we're going to encourage our people to get involved. Coming that way brings the revelation.
Okay.
Signing up as an individual, you bring hope. Like I said, I really covet the revelation, because I believe that what Jesus was praying there was revealing to us the master plan of evangelism. And that's when his people show up together and love people and serve people. Love Inc. is a new wineskin. We've never had an organization in the community where the churches come together and say, we will together serve our community. We've never had that before happen. And I believe that the Lord has led us to this place. I think it started out as a simple act of 100 people going to the Gulf Coast in 2005 and serving the victims of Katrina, and then coming back and saying, we need to do this here. I believe that that act of service brought us to this place where we are here today, where the congregations are banding together to serve the community. I believe that ultimately, if we do this as multiple congregations, the church will be the go-to organization in the community. We are already getting tons of referrals from agencies who either don't have the money or they don't have the skilled people to step into these holes and do it. And I love it, because when we first started out, we were irrelevant. The church was irrelevant to the school districts and agencies and local government, and now they call us and say, can you do this? Can you help here? Can you do this? I believe that God means the church to be the go-to place for help in this community.
That's amazing.
And so that's how you can help.
So you brought a sign-up sheet with you.
Well, this is a SALT form, which I love in acronyms. It stands for Stewards Assets List of Talents. So SALT for short.
Okay.
So
well, we are running out of time, actually, and I need to pray. But can we give a round of applause for these guys for taking some time to come up here? Thank you. Thank you very much, guys, for showing up and speaking to us. I know, so between services, we are doing a pie social between the congregations. I know Larry has to mosey on out, but you've left us with a gentleman who's on the board,
yep.
right?
Chris Ferguson's here. He's the liaison for North Lake Baptist, and he's one of our board members. And Chris knows how small groups and individuals can work from local congregations, so he has that unique perspective that he brings.
So if there's anybody here in the church, in the congregation, would like more information or like to connect, right? You guys are gonna be. Jimmy will be available, and sorry, I'm blanking on the name. Chris will be available to rep Love Inc. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna pray, and Nick will be up here a little bit. Father God, thank you so much for what you are doing in this community. Lord, I praise you and I thank you, Lord, for places like Love Inc. and the Community House. Lord, thank you so much, Lord, that your witness, your glory, your testimony, Father, is being spread and hope is being shared into the lives of so many people. Father, I pray, Lord, that you would speak to our hearts. Lord, I pray that there would be people here, Lord, in this congregation tonight, Lord, that have been inspired, Father, to join you in your work. Lord, just use us, Father, to glorify your name. In your name I pray. Amen.
You are God in heaven, and here am I on earth. So I'll let my words be few. Jesus, I am so in love with you. And I'll stand in awe of you. best of all of songs I want to bring to you. So I'll let my words be few. Jesus, I am so in love with you. Sing this chorus one more time with us. And I'll stand in awe of you. Yes, I'll stand in awe of you. And I'll let my words be few. Jesus, I am so in love with you.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight as we've been talking about. We're going to transition.